ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 7, verse number 50. We've been reading the description of Daksha's sacrifice and how the Lord appeared in the sacrifice, being pleased by the offerings of Daksha, and then the different members present in the sacrifice, they prayed to the Lord, and the outcome of their prayer was the supremacy of path of devotion. So then Lord, he accepted his part of offering, and then he spoke as follows to Daksha. Sri Bhagavanu Uvacha, the Supreme Bhagavan said, Aham Brahma cha sarvascha jagatah karanam param atmeshwarayo padrashta svayam vriga visheshanaha. He said that I, Brahma and Shiva, they are the supreme cause of the universe. Atma Ishvara Updrashta Swayam Driva Vishesha. I am the Atma and Ishvara, the witness and the self manifest reality, and Swayam Driva Avisheshana, there is no difference among us. So in scriptures, many times we read about creation, especially in the Puranas, how the creation was done. This topic comes again and again. And this is actually one of the characteristical feature of the Puranas, that creation is described in the Purana. Yatra sarva visarvasya sthanam poshanam mitra. What is the purpose why this description of creation is given? So that we understand who is God and how great He is. But we tend to forget this. And the other thing which is explained is that it is He only who is manifest in our. So there are two ways God is described. One is that He is the creator. So we can understand His greatness by if He has created this gigantic universe, then how great He must be. And then another way which is spoken is that He is everything. And we read in the prayers of Brahmanas, where He said, Tvam kratus, Tvam havis, Tvam hutasas, Tvam himantra, samindar, patraniche. That you are the sacrifice, you are the material which is used for sacrifice, you are the mantra, you are the fire, you are the pots, pans, everything. Means there is nothing which is separate from Him. So these two things are repeatedly stated. And the purpose is that the ultimate goal of Shastra is to speak about Priti or love of God. And these two things are very important because number one, we have to know the greatness of God. And number two, we should not be envious of anything, anybody. Because if we don't understand His greatness, then our love may be just some sentiment. As is very common, there are people who say there is no need to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, any of these things. Just read the Rasika literature. So then it becomes another type of sentiment. And if we have envy for living beings, then there is no question of love because this is all manifestation of God. That means we don't respect His creation. So these two things are repeatedly said here in the Upanishads also. That there are statements that everything comes from Him, Janmadashayataha, and Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, everything is Brahma. So this scheme is there to bring us to this level of having love. This qualification is needed, and therefore in the Bhagavatam in the very beginning it is said Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Karma Nirmat Saranamsa. That here in Bhagavatam the supreme Dharma or the supreme quality which you can have is described. Supreme activity. And this is for those people who are nirmatsal, who are free from jealousy and who are compassionate sufferer. So this compassion and freedom from jealousy will not come if we don't see that everything is a manifestation of God.
If we don't what?
If we don't see that everything is a manifestation of God, then we become bhinnadrika, which is the statement prithak drishti bhinnadrika, to have an independent vision or separatist mentality. So this separatist mentality does not exist in love. This unity which is described in the Upanishads many times, Tattvamasi or Aham Brahmasmi, this unity is not ontological unity, that there is only one, but unity in consciousness. And that happens when there is love. If there is a feeling of love, then you feel one with that person and you feel that whatever belongs to that person is also belonging to you, or you don't want to harm that. So then you don't consider yourself as separate and the person you love is separate. Then his or her possessions, they are also yours. You don't think that, okay, this is my bank account, this is your bank account, this is my car, this is your car, this is my house, this is your house. So this does not exist in love. So since the purpose of Bhagavatam is to teach love, so Kavalya ek prayojana. The prayojan of Bhagavatam is Kavalya, oneness. But this oneness is not the oneness of Advaitavad. It is oneness in love. And that is the message of Bhagavatam from beginning to end. Everything is spoken only for this purpose. So although we are reading the story of sacrifice and offense and this and that, idea is to bring us to this level. And why these prayers again and again? And why he was saying this is a sarcasm on this and this is a sarcasm on that? Because whatever is the sarcasm is in a particular type of mentality. And that we may also have. So it is a sarcasm on that mentality which human beings carry. Only here it is said, it is sarcasm on Rudra, it is sarcasm on the Jnani, it is sarcasm on the priests, but it is ultimately sarcasm on our mentality. We are the one who are carrying this. It doesn't matter whether there is sarcasm on them or not, problem is with us. So therefore Lord starts speaking this, that don't see this differentiation and then try to disregard. Because what Daksha did, that he disregarded Shiva. So he is respecting Vishnu, but he is disregarding Shiva. So what he is saying, that there is no difference between me and Shiva. Although difference is also there, and as I said, therefore you have to understand the both, that there is oneness and there is a difference. Because to love there also has to be difference. But stress is always not only on the difference, it is also on oneness. But that oneness is the oneness of heart. So what he is saying, that this Brahma and Shiva, obviously if there are three people, there cannot be one. And he says that don't see the difference. Avisheshana. Yet, if there are three different personalities, there must be difference in them. But because they are different, we should not think that now I can disrespect Shiva or I can disrespect Brahma. So we have to have love for Krishna, that is the goal, but we don't disrespect anyone. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke a wonderful statement. Pranada Krishna Chaitanya Sahishmana Amanina Manadena Kirtani Sadhana. This is a basic disease. And this has to be understood to the core, because it manifests at various levels. When he says, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam, na dindis, kame, all these things will bring the separatist mentality. And then we are not qualified for bhakti. So it is a very beautiful process and path which has been set up here, that how you are there, you have your teacher, it's God, you have a relationship, and then with that relationship you see everything as one. So just as when one is living in a family and the family is close-knit family, then wife is not thinking that this is not my house. She feels that this is my house. So if anything goes wrong, she doesn't think like this is husband's problem. Why shall I bother about it? She doesn't think like it. So that is the meaning of unity, oneness. So like that, Lord Vishnu, he was considered as the Palaka, the protector, maintainer. So his goal is to unite everybody. Brahma does his role, Shiva does his role. But Vishnu's role is to keep the whole show together. So he has a very important role. And that's why whenever discrepancies come, then he comes. Dharma sansthapanartha sambhavana. I come to establish dharma. So what is this dharma? The dharma of unity. That is the message that comes to people. That there is one central point and everybody has to unite oneself in that. And that's, you read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Vedanta Sutra, Upanishads. All the things may not be stated so clearly, but this is the vision. This is the purpose, this is the style with which all the Shastra has been written. And that's why in the very beginning in the Bhagavatam it was said Vasudeva Paraveda. That the Vedas are having their conclusion only in Vasudeva. And then if someone says what about the sacrifices, Vasudeva Paramaka, sacrifice is also for Vasudeva. As Krishna said that I am the Bhoktaram, I am the real beneficiary of the sacrifice. Bhoktaram yajna tapsam sarvalokam maheshwara. So you will see this thread everywhere. He says, I am the source of everything. I am sarvasya prabhu. He says, everything is coming from me. I have two types of energies. So everything has one central point, and then everything is related with that. So we have to have this vision in this path of bhakti. That's why this path of bhakti is the most auspicious path, because in every other path you become independent. You don't have this vision in yoga or jnana. You are yourself, you are doing your yoga, you don't have, even if you meditate on God, because He can help you to attain samadhi. Not that you want to link up with Him. That's why yoga, Patanjali's yoga is not to link, it is to delink yourself from the world. It is actually just opposite of bhakti. So in bhakti you are uniting with God. And there you are disuniting. Chitta vritti nirodha, you stop everything. Same in jnana, path of knowledge. So this is the most auspicious path. That's why Narada Rishi, he said, Neskarmem api achyut bhavavarjitam nashobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. Not even this Neskarmem, Brahman realization, being devoid of bhakti, it is also not very auspicious. But even if there is a literature not well composed, pratislokam abhadyavati api, then that is very beautiful. So why? Because that is the reality. That is the truth. So truth is that there is Krishna, there is God, and everything is manifestation of Him, and we are all linked to Him. And therefore everything is non-different from Him, yet He is separate from everything. This is the crux, essence of the matter. And this is repeated again and again in so many different ways. Because our mentality is messed up. Thinking that I am the enjoyer and I am the center of the universe. Everybody thinks that he or she is the center of the universe. And this whole creation is meant for my enjoyment, for my pleasure, for my satisfaction. So to come out from that and to think that actually everything is meant only for Krishna, God, and I am also meant for Him, it's quite a job. So all the layers of your psyche have to be taken out one by one and washed. So this is what this literature does. When they are giving this mentality of Rudra, or mentality of Bhrigu, or mentality of Brahma or Daksha, so these are various types of layers lying hidden inside us. And they have to be peeled off one by one carefully so that we don't freak out. Right? You have to give anesthesia and then do the operation so you don't feel so much pain. So here there was no anesthesia because anesthesia makes you unconscious. So they want to keep you conscious so that you know that your problem is this and it is going away. This is how we should study this book Bhagavatam. It is not meant just to give pravachan and make followers. People think like that. So it has to be studied how I can improve and become surrendered to God and have love of God. So therefore he is saying Aham Brahma cha sarvascha jagatah karanam param. He says, don't try. Why he is saying? As Vishwanath Chakravarti says, very this writes on level 9, but very important point. He says, Ma punar aparadham karshi. So don't be offensive again. So how he will not be offensive? Because Daksha knows one thing, that Vishnu is God. That he knows. But he was not realizing that Shiva is also. So therefore, whom he considers as God, he himself is saying it. And don't think that he is different from me. So now he cannot think of offending him. And if he does that, then he is offending Vishnu. That means he has no faith. So it is with this intention he says that Jagatah Karanam Param. So Karanam is not used in plural. He is not saying that we are the three causes of the universe. He says that we three are the cause. I mean, the cause is actually only one. But these three are that one cause. And Atma, Ishvara, Updrashta. We are the Atma, and the Ishvara, and the Updrashta, Swambhavit, Avishesha. So, Avisheshana Trayanam Asmakam Nasti Vishesha. There is no difference between three of us. So this is the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda. Right? That there is a difference and there is no difference. Sarvam khalu idam brahma etadatma idam sarvam vishnu mayam jagat vasudevam sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabh. Krishna says, when he told that all this is Vasudeva Mai Sarvamidam Protam Sutra Mani Ganaiva, everything is strung on me like beads on a thread. So he is the thread going into everything. And Kshetragyam Napicham Manvidhi Sarva Kshetra Subharata. So I am also the Kshetragya. I am Kratur, I am Yagya, I am Sadha, I am Vasudha. I am the sacrifice, I am the medicine, I am this mantra, everything. Gati Bhata. So many statements in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that they are all coming from him. Because they are coming from him, so as a cause, nothing is different from him. Because the effect is never different from the cause. But cause is different from the effect. Because cause can exist without the effect also. The effect cannot exist without the cause. You cannot have earrings without gold. But gold can exist without earrings. So when he says that there is no difference, means there is no difference between gold and the earring. There is no difference between the gold and the nose ring, anklet, bracelet. They are not different from gold. But gold has its separate understanding. Gold is the cause. So if one is having attraction for the gold but hates the earring, how does that happen? How is that possible? That you like gold but you don't like the earring. The earring is also not like the gold. So therefore he says that Aham Brahmacha Sarvasya Jagatah Karanam Atmeshwar. So says I am the Atma and Ishvara and Sakshi, witness. Atmayam samavishya soham gunmayim dujaha Srijan Raksan Haram Vishwam Dadhre Sangyam Kriyochitam. So he said that how if you are one, then why we see this variety? So he speaks about that. He said Atma Mayam Samavishya. Taking shelter of my Atma Maya, my energy, then I take various forms. So this Atma Maya is Gunmayi. So here Maya means his external energy, because he says Gunmayi, Atma Maya, Samavishya. He enters into it. And then I create Srijan, I maintain and destroy this universe. And then I get the corresponding name. So just as when you work, you go to office, then you may be a secretary. And in the evening you go to play, then you are a player. And at night you may go to sing, then you are a musician. Then you come home, then you may be a wife or a mother, accordingly. So you take different designations according to the activities you perform. You are the same person. And whatever activity you perform, then you manifest the corresponding talent and energy for that activity. When you are singing or playing some music, then you bring out your music talent. If you are going and playing tennis, then your talent of playing tennis comes out. When you are in the office, your secretarial talent. And in the house, when a wife or mother. So you get different names according to the appropriate activities you perform. So Lord says, similarly, I am the only one and I am performing all the activities. And then I take different names. So in these three names, Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu, according to his three activities, Srijan, Dakshin, and Vishnu. So in the very beginning of Bhagavatam also it was said that Lord, he does these three activities and Hare Virinchi Haras Tisanga Swayansis Tatra Khalu Sattva Tanor Ninamsi. But the supreme benefit comes only from the Sattva, from Lord Vishnu. Because ultimately it is only one, and that one is the source house, source of all the qualities, all the activities. Nanu Parmeshwara khalu eka eva sacha bhavaneva shastresu uchyate ityet tatraya atmeti. So if someone says that there is only one Supreme God, and that is you, Vishnu, which is described in the scriptures, so why you are saying that there is no difference? Or you three are the cause? So then say that I only manifest in these three forms. Samavishya adhisthaya. Entering means presiding over them. It does not mean that literally he enters. He can also enter literally, no problem. But entering in them means controlling them, supervising. That means everything happens under his control. Nothing is out of his control, even if it is a tsunami. Ultimately, you may find a cause of the earthquake and tsunami or some other imbalance, but the supreme cause is God. Nothing is outside him. All is happening within him. He is containing everything in him, and he is also inside everything. He is the controller. He is the Parmeshwara, or the Supreme Master. सप्रसिद्धो गुणातीत एक एव हम क्रिया सृष्टि स्थिति संहृतया तासु समुचितां संज्ञा सृष्टा इति पाल्यते संहृता इति आख्याम. So I am God. He is saying that he is beyond the matter, the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, but he controls them, he enters them, and he has got three major activities. Because basically there are three activities which human beings also perform. They are creating, they are maintaining, they are destroying. That's what everybody is doing. So even in our body, same thing is happening. The cells are created, when they live, they are maintained, then they die. So these are only three activities everywhere going on. And these are related with the three gunas of Prakriti. Because everything is made of Prakriti here. So Prakriti's basic fabric is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So then these three things become manifest. And they become manifest because of the conscious agent present. Because of the presence of the conscious agent. Otherwise, matter cannot do anything by itself. So because of these three activities, then there are three supreme deities, and then they take three different names. Tasmin Brahmani Advitiye Kevale Paramatmani Brahmarudrau cha Bhutani Bhedena Gyonupashyati. So he says that this Brahman, this absolute reality, it is one, Advitiya. There is only one absolute reality. There cannot be two. And he is the Kevala, the only reality. Paramatmani, he is also the Paramatma, who is controlling everything. So then, those people who do not know, they make distinctions. That this is Brahma, this is Rudra, and this is the living beings. Brahma Rudra Bhutani Bhedena Gyonupashyati. So this distinction, these divisions are made because of ignorance, not knowing this. And then when we see this bhed, this distinction, then we behave improperly. ननु ब्रह्मणो हिरण्यगर्भत्वेन जीवत्वात् रुद्रस्य ईश्वरत्वेपि गुणस्पर्शात् कथं तयोस्त्वद् अभेद तत्र किमुक्त्य न्यायिनः ब्रह्मरुद्रं. So objection is raised to this, that Brahma, he is Hiranyagarbha. He is a Jiva. Brahmagarbha is a living being. And Shiva is not a Jiva, he is Ishvara, but he also comes in contact with the Gunas. So how can they be considered as one with you who are Gunatit, who is beyond the Gunas? How can you be equated with them? So, for this, he speaks the present verse, Tasmin Brahmani Advitiya. He says, Bhutani Jivanapi Agyev Bheden Pashyati Natu Vigya Kumati Brahmarudra. He says, those who are ignorant, they see everything as distinct, including Brahma and Rudra. But one who knows, he sees that even these living beings, they are the energy of the Lord. Or to speak of Brahma and Rudra. Bhutanam Madhiya Tatastha Shaktitvat Brahmarudryor Gunavtaratvat Madabheda Ityartha. So how there is Abheda, how there is oneness, because this oneness has to be understood. This is not the oneness of the Advaitavad, where there is only one and the second does not exist. So when we say that it is Advitiya or one without a second, means the second is not existing independently. The oneness is due to lack of independence. When love is there, of course, then one does not consider oneself as independent. But those who do not have love for God, who are ignorant, they are also not independent, and therefore they are not two. They only think that they are independent, separate, but they are not. In reality, they are not. Nobody is independent, because independently no one can survive. We are all dependent. We may not recognize this fact. At least we recognize that we are dependent on others, if not on God. We depend on air to breathe. If you don't get air for 2 minutes, then Govinda Anaganama. All your independence is gone. So, in that sense, we are one. But we are different because we have all different characteristics. So every individual has some individual character which is distinct from others. We have our own distinct karma, nature. So in that sense we are different, and we are obviously not God ourselves. So this distinction and oneness both have to be understood in proper perspective. And that's what he's saying, that this oneness is because the living beings are the intermediate potency of God. And potency cannot be independent of the potent. Just as light cannot be independent of the source of light. Or electricity cannot be independent of the source of electricity. Powerhouse cannot exist independently. So in that sense there is oneness. And as far as Brahma and Rudra they are concerned, they are the Guna Avtaras. So they are manifestations of the Lord Himself. Then he gives one example in the next verse. This is a very nice example. Se yatha pumanna swangeshu shirah panyadeshu kvachit parakya buddhim kurute evam bhutesu matparaha. Say, just as a person does not consider that his own limbs such as head, hand, leg, etc. do not belong to him. In the same way, a person who is devoted to me does not consider that these living beings do not belong to me. So this is a very nice example to understand that we have our own body, and this body is one physical unit. So we have hand, but is hand different from the body? Can we say, okay, if something happens to my hand, I get a thorn in my finger while picking some flower or walking in the garden. So now will I say, okay, let this finger go to hell, I don't care, it's not me. I'm separate from it. No, we don't do that. Even by instinct, immediately we go and pull the finger, and if the thorn is inside, we try to pull it out. So we don't do parakya buddhi, this separatist mentality, that I am separate and the finger is separate. So all the finger is not the whole body. Finger performs a specific function. Yet finger is not separate from the body. So in Indian schools of philosophies, there is a big debate about whether the whole is separate from the parts or it is one with the parts. So some say that the whole is separate from the part, and some say that it is not separate from the parts. And there are arguments and counter-arguments for that. You can think about it. And it will be difficult to come to any conclusion. Because if it is separate from the parts, then where does it exist? If the body is different from the parts which make it, then where is body existing? Is it existing in all venues, or it is existing in the parts only? So is it exist in every part or only in one particular part? So whole is not separate, and yet it is separate. That's why you have to have both concepts. Bhed and abhed, different and non-different simultaneously. Because it's not like that pen is separate from the table existing somewhere. It's like that whole is not existing somewhere different from the parts. It is, but at the same time the parts are not the whole. That's why we say that this belongs to the whole. That means whole must be something different from the part. In the possessive case, finger belongs to the body. So there is oneness and difference. Both sides exist. So here he is stressing the oneness. Why is he stressing the oneness? Because the problem came seeing different. Dasa saw Shiva as different from God, the absolute reality, and therefore he cursed him. So he is stressing the oneness. Now don't first give up this mentality, this parakya buddhi, bhinna buddhi, separatist idea. So just as in our body, we don't do that. So like that, this whole varnashram system was also designed like that. Now although people don't understand it and there is so much criticism, varnashram means it was a body. You have a head, the brahmanas, the scholars, the educators, they are the head. Then you have kshatriyas, they are the arms, protection, managing things, doing. And then you have the middle part, belly, that is the vaishya, business, farming, crop protection, so that all the energy is supplied, all the energy comes from them. And then you have the legs to move the whole thing. So we have Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. So as we have our own body and we don't make distinction, this was made social body. And everybody was given their duties, like our hands naturally do what they are supposed to do, our hand is doing naturally, the stomach is digesting food naturally and supplying energy. Everything. Stomach is not saying that I will digest and keep all my energy. I will not give to the eyes or to the brain. So it was designed like that. Therefore Vaishyas were called Sresht. Now what you call Set, this word Set comes from the Sanskrit Sreshtha, means the best. Because they were the one who were generating food, generating milk, products, everything. Everybody depended on them. So it is not that they were just some inferior class of people. So when the cooperation is there between the four varnas, then the body functions very nicely. Then it will progress and we can all attain the goal, which is ultimately realizing that we all belong to God. So as we have this body, then we have the social body, and then we have the whole universal body, the center of which is God Himself, as you see. So this was the purpose. So similarly you had the family unit, then the village unit, then the nation, then the whole earth, and then the universe. So everything was body, unit, different levels. So you start with one individual unit, then you go to the universe, you become united in one. This is how it was designed. Very beautiful system. And this only can bring peace and happiness in the society. Now when everybody starts thinking I'm different, then there is chaos, then there is fighting and looting, stealing, raping, exploitation. And the problems come now. So kings were not thinking that they are the exploiters or enjoyers. No, they had a role to play. They were trained like that. If you read the duties of the king, as we have been reading about Yudhishthira Maharaj, what he's saying. So this was the mentality of those people. So the different mindset. They were trained, they were born with these ideas. Okay, it was in their genes. So now this knowledge is lost, and it looks very strange, because now the whole idea of this consumerism is that I am independent and I have to enjoy, because the whole society works on buying things. If you don't buy, the whole economy collapses, the government don't get taxes, nothing will work. And if buying for what? Not for doing service, but to enjoy. So we are trained now just the opposite of what is being taught here. And that's why there is tsunami. This is the reason for all these tsunamis. Because in the nature, it comes back and gives you a slap to remind you. When someone becomes too much unruly, you have to give a slap. So tsunami in Sanskrit will mean famous. Bhutani tu mad bhaktopi swabheden pashyet iti swasira panyadeshu sukh dukkhe yatha tathaiva sarvbhuteshu api sukh dukkhe pashyet iti eva bhaktanam abhed darshanam. So he says that my devotee, specifically he is talking about the devotees because they have this vision. He says even my devotee, he sees everyone as distinct from herself or himself. Just as if there is a pain in my head, a pain in my hand, then I can also understand the pain of others. He is extending the analogy to another individual. One is to understand body as one unit and we don't make distinction, and then he says that just as I feel pain, the other person also will feel pain in a similar situation, so I should not create such a situation for that person to suffer. So this is the meaning of not having parakya buddhi. So bhaktanam abhed darshan, this is the universal vision of the devotees. Trayanam eka bhavanam yona pashyati vai vidam sarvabhutatmanam brahman shashantum madhigacchati. So finally he gives the outcome of this. If one has a vision like this, then what does one achieve from this? What is the benefit? Why shall I have this vision, this type of vision? Why not I enjoy? I am the center, I have my own money. Why shall I care for anybody? I shall just enjoy. So he said that one who does not see any distinction in three of us who have one consciousness and who sees that Sarvabhutatmanam Bhedam Pashyati, sees that all living beings are all part of the Lord, then Shanti Madhigacchati. Then such a person attains peace. So this is the formula of peace. Everybody wants peace, world peace, peace in the society. But it will not come. There will be only tsunamis. Whether they come in the ocean or they come in the mind of people, as in Egypt. It is also a type of tsunami. There is no peace. Why? Because of this idea of seeing ourselves as enjoyers and distinct from everyone. So as long as this will exist, there cannot be peace. Then there is bound to be quarrel, there is bound to be exploitation. Anyone who is more powerful, he or she will exploit if he thinks that his goal is to enjoy. But if his goal is not to enjoy, but to serve God, then he will utilize that power for the benefit of others. So vidya vivadaya dhanam madaya shakti paresham paripirdanaya khalasya sadha vipritam edat jnanaya danaya cha rakshanaya. So we have knowledge, we have wealth, we have physical strength, then it can be a cause of distress and exploitations, or it can be a means to serve. That depends on the consciousness of the person. So here Lord is teaching how we should utilize and what kind of vision we should have. Then we can all live peacefully in this world, which is very beautiful and wonderful. Otherwise we create hell for ourselves and for others. So this is the end of his instruction. Then Maitreya will speak a few more verses. We'll read them in the next class. Yes.
If all the varnas they are like in such harmony, why are there all these rules that this class cannot eat with this class? Like,
that has a purpose. The purpose was that because different people are performing different type of activities. Suppose the pujari is doing worship, right? So there is certain code he has to follow, a level of cleanliness. And there is other person who is sweeping, then his level of cleanliness is different. So it is for that purpose. It is not to discriminate or disrespect somebody. That idea came later on. The idea was not that these people are just low class and we should not care for them. But Just as even if you are in the hospital and you go to a theatre, operation theatre, and everybody is not allowed there, right? Because you need to keep that place very clean. And if bacteria or some other virus comes, then it can be dangerous for the patient. So it does not mean that the people who are not allowed there, they are some low class people, or they are have to be disrespected. It's not for that reason. So it was only for this purpose. But when people don't understand the purpose due to ignorance, when the vision is lost, then these ideas come, I am superior because I can enter the operation theatre, you can enter, therefore you are inferior. Right? This can happen once you forget them. Then you can start feeling proud about it, and the other person starts feeling inferior also naturally, and it can go, and then it becomes custom. So originally they had a purpose. Every rule has a purpose, and purpose is ultimately to remind you of God. That's all. There was no other purpose in these rules. They were not. There is no question why God has to exploit somebody. There is no need. He is Atma-Ram. Why he has to make somebody feel inferior or superior? But according to one's qualification, the responsibility was given, and according to one's responsibility, then one has a level of standard in society how one has to live. Everybody cannot keep the same level of cleanliness as the doctor who is going to operate. It will all then maybe they will become dysfunctional in their duties if they have to be that clean. So it's not needed. So Brahmanas, they have to perform sacrifice, study of the Vedas, chanting of the mantras. It required a certain level of cleanliness. So they have to be segregated. So, but it was not to demean anybody. But the system became corrupt.
The idea that the Lord is indifferent to his non-devotees, how does this apply for all parts of the Lord?
Well, he has given the rule. He is indifferent in the sense that he is not against them. But because they don't want to listen to his law, what can he do? He doesn't force anything on them. Just like a father. If he has, say, two sons, one is obedient, another is disobedient. So one who is disobedient, he is also supplying him food, cloth, everything. But he doesn't bother about him, where he goes, what he does, because he doesn't listen to him. And there is an obedient son, and he is very watchful of him. So he is saying, okay, don't go to these people, don't mix with such kind of people, don't watch this kind of TV show. So he is personally taking interest in guiding because the son is obedient. The other one is not obedient. He has told him also, but he doesn't listen. So he lives into his karma. That is the meaning of being indifferent. Indifferent does not mean that he is against. Whenever he will become obedient, then again he will be caring for him.
And the living beings are the same. The obedient son is also going to take indifference to his disobedient brother.
If he doesn't listen, yes. You try to explain, but if he doesn't listen, then that's what you do. Prem Maitri Kripa Upeksha Yakaroti Samadhyama. In Bhagavatam it is described that a devotee, medium devotee means who is not to that level that cannot discriminate. So he says that he has love for God, makes friendship with devotees. He is gracious towards those who are not envious, and he avoids those who are envious. So even the disobedient, there can be two categories. Those who are envious of him, and those who are they may be disobedient, but they are not and don't hate you. So you can be compassionate towards them.
About the whole and the parts. So then, parts they have only meaning if they are separate in a whole, or they have a separate existence?
Separate existence, nothing has separate existence. That's what we are saying. Separate existence is only suffering. Because nothing can exist separately. It's like you cut the branch from the tree. It has a separate existence, but what is the meaning of this? It dries. It's not going to remain green or grow or give any fruits or flowers.
So we can say that the root of the misery is in this wrong idea, wrong concept that we are separate.
That is the meaning. Iswaraham bhogi. See the demonic mentality. And the Iswaraham bhogi. Koasti sadrisho maya. Who is like me? I will enjoy.
One question. What Krishna had been not this body. All in my family, in my money, this, if I think this is mine, this is not Krishna consciousness. It was only God. If I have not anything and love to God, I am free and Krishna consciousness. And now my friend in Russia have collected from community making. And one disciple of Srila Prabhupada from Gita Nagari come here, and they invite some people, and they tell that if you would buy house, this house yours, but if we decided, collective, that your situation inside community not good, if you will be not happy, you must go out, but your house may be in our collective house. Many times devotees give flat to temple, president take this flat, make his office, then you live in the temple like brahmachari. And after this house, you must know information about Krishna. And then they give me back my house. This is my use, must be devotees of Krishna, use free. What I must take in this situation? Is this my mind? Or I must give all for Krishna, for President?
If you have your family and your children, you also have to take care of them, because this is also your responsibility. Because they are not caring. If they are saying it belongs to Krishna, then they should also care. It's not that they only take and then okay, now you go. That's not proper.
This is my family. My family is my body. This is not my mind. My mind is not Krishna. It's not family. Family Krishna. I give my family to communities.
Yeah, but they don't take care of family. It is you who have to take care of them.
It's not good philosophy. Okay.
It's good philosophy only to exploit people. This is how philosophy is misused.
I don't go to this community after 2 years. Maybe leaders change, maybe Prabhupada disciple go out, another demon come and go out. Your house is mine. Do not give back anything.
Yeah, so you have to be intelligent not to get exploited.
But the problem, if we live separated without community, some people very easy for a band, gang and come to your house and live. Okay. When we live together, it's very good. But we must live together in many houses, separated, but only one temple, and be like one village. Yes, is best.
Yeah, that is good to
Okay,
have.
think. Okay. Thank you.